everyone. Welcome to the Family Table. I'm Pastor Tim.
I'm Patty.
Glad to have you along with us today. We're going to continue our story of Noah's Ark that we read a few days ago, but we're going to use a different movie. Today we're going to talk about the movie Homeward Bound.
Yes. It's an older movie from when we were kids, but it's a really good movie. I suggest you check it out if you can't. Maybe even check it out at your library. But it's a movie about two dogs. I think one was a golden retriever and one was a bulldog of some sort, maybe. I'm not sure. And then there was a cat. So the dogs were Chance and Shadow, and Chance was the golden retriever, and Shadow was the other dog. And there was Sassy the cat. And they are afraid that they have been abandoned by their family.
Our dog.
Our dog doesn't think he's abandoned, but wants on our laps. So maybe he does think he was abandoned. Well, anyway, so they think they've been abandoned. So they set out on this lengthy journey to find their family. And in the beginning, they talk to each other, and we see that these animals are talking, and they're talking about the best way to possibly go about this adventure, to get out of this peril that they found themselves in.
That leads me to think of a question. Do you ever think animals communicate with each other?
Well, I grew up on a farm, and I always thought it was a neat idea that when I left the barn that the animals were kind of talking to each other.
Very Charlotte's Web.
Yes, I love Charlotte's Web, so probably that's where I got the idea. But I always thought, well, maybe they're talking to each other. But I don't think animals really talk with each other with words like we do. But they definitely communicate each other. You can see, bees use a dance to communicate with each other, and our dogs growl when they're or yip, or all kinds of things, and whales use their sounds to talk to each other, so to find each other. So I definitely think animals can communicate. It's just not the way they do in this movie.
So let's now talk about the animals that were on the ark that Noah built. How were the animals on the ark similar or like the animals in the movie? How were their situations perhaps the same?
That's a good question. I think they probably were the same because they both were leaving homes they knew, right? They had to go to different places. The animals in the Bible were going onto the ark, and these guys were doing a cross-country journey, so they both might have been scared or nervous about what was going to happen, unsure, trying to figure out how they were going to go about the situation. So I think they were probably common that way.
Well, we talked about just now how they were alike. How were they different?
Well, they're different because, first of all, the animals on the ark were real. I mean, I know. Maybe that's obvious, right?
It's not a made-up story, yeah.
But also, I think that the animals in the ark were put there by God. Mm-hmm. So they probably had a peace from God, too. And, I mean, because, lions weren't running around trying to eat prairie dogs. So I think there was probably some sort of godly peace put upon them. And they also had Noah, who was there looking out for them, that may have brought them more peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe the rocking. I don't know how violent the waves would have been.
Yeah,
maybe the gentle rocking of the boat or anything like that would have helped calm them down, too.
Yeah, definitely. So today we want you, as your assignment, your project, we want you to pick one animal that was on an ark. So what animals are you limited to then?
I don't know. There was
none, right? They had the answer to the
question. Two of every kind. Well, actually, because there's probably no dinosaurs on there.
Probably not.
No unicorns.
And no unicorns.
Yeah, they didn't make it.
If you've never heard the song "The Last Unicorn," Google it. It's fantastic. It's not real, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, there were dinosaur-like things. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you can pretty much pick any animal you want to.
Yeah.
And then we want you to draw that animal, and then we want you to write what you think that animal said, or would have said. Obviously, it didn't say anything, right? What it would have said just as Noah closed the door, or God closed the door on the ark, right? Mm-hmm. What were their thoughts or feelings? So that's your assignment today. And maybe think about how you would feel if you were one of those people who was being shut into the ark. Yeah. I would have been scared.
Yes, for sure. I'm a little nervous,
Yes.
even if God was shutting the door. Maybe even more nervous.
Even though I knew God was leading me, I'd still be.
Maybe even more nervous.
So anyway, so that's your project for today. And like I said, check this movie out. We'll have a clip for this part, but we're going to be using this movie for several days, so check it out.
Alrighty, that's it for today. Have a blessed day in Christ. We'll see you again next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.